the first to know in Nsem-Pii TV.
Meno Kasaidia John Dramani Mahama Jebekaya Onamne Kasamafoso Felix Ofosu Kwacheso at the Krata Eba Bontin said Chief Justice Yamami Gertrude Tokono was suspending on Nina a petition Mako Miensa and in Sakan Odikoko Piemu ewo Council of State Meno Kasaidia Council of State and so a petition one the one a footwo ababeto abonten na yebekai after say John Dramani Mahama etimi receive petition no Vincent Eko Asifua ono a member of parliament the ema omanfo ewo otafo enam ne lawyer so former attorney general Yura Gofred Adami etimi etabri asem no de kokopie mu ewo Supreme Court Supreme Court kra enyanka asem no enwie after see a suspended Chief Justice and so a DSF Vincent Eko Asifua nam ne lawyer so Yura Gofred Adami asa file another motion to injunct the suspension of the Chief Justice na ebusuafo enye asem kotwala de yanko nkotie no na lawyer no kra echese wanhwa ebia na John Dramani Mahama kra at disrespect court no na said ye na enim so disrespect court no nso a eya na bribia enu nso ehunso so na de yanko na yankotie
otoko so a suspended Chief Justice based on the advice ne the on the Council of State the same plaintiff no a Vincent Asifua assign file the same plaintiff no a Vincent Asifua assign file a notice of motion application for interlocutory injunction this time no or say so far process now mampenyi putting in place no or sign a injunctive process no even the decision to suspend the Chief Justice no officer was a court no assign assign is that the way to go me pacho?
Yes, or emraman of council yes sir, because on person say in the first instance no and no a violation of law. Now where there is a violation of law you money pass through you court. And one will say, as if one Emra say, President Abioye, no, Emremono, I want it. And to a court to them was a court on say, and democracy, the Yabugabugo, a rule of law, not the pleasure of a man. It's as simple as that. And that is now own train, now move another arm of government. Send me a DVD, Emma, the executive, no. Yeah, the legislature, no. And now the opposite arm of government, no. You want to rob right over the rules and Yamana constitution are captured, no. That is all that I believe is my problem. Now I'm not saying is there will be the petition ever told President Mahama he shouldn't activate it or whatever. But now what if the court should checkmate you? So you can't do it. We do say that now the president here near court to no canon. Me say nyaduma. How are we ruling by the constitution? The court is a creature of the constitution. The judiciary is a creature of the constitution. The executive baby or tea and neck na fu nyina ya penny bunu pa the first gender of the land. Say any no. It's a creation of the constitution. Minister, Yan Thomas Wabama 50+1. It will go at the and then President Mahama Biano, very different. It's constitution now, Pejano. And this opposite will pay the constitution now. More of them, is the meaning of democracy.
And you agree with Omoaeka, final question. You agree with Omoaeka, say, as far as the letter of the Article 146 provisions are concerned, President follow the letter of the law on Tomrebia. Your only issue is with the pendency of the case before the Supreme Court and the respect and was Nyamasa application of courts is here. That's the issue you have, right?
In fact, any man friends, the Supreme Court not just said proceed the anokra fast
okay.
Aha. And this procedure of files no here. Jubilee House ebe no ho court to say and na the executive no ne judiciary ne kabo ni edian asem ana and now you abide by the decision of the Supreme Court. Okay, emra Nanado no challenge say election petition no. Ono ni ama no mojo ye Supreme Court kro o.
Yes.
Aha, what me review Supreme Court ko no na kan say ene Nanado ne ba wo mi amu case no ye fa nya adwuma. Ene oma mo ye dan ajo nya sa.
Yes.
So how can you disrespect the same Supreme Court? No refi. Aha. Let's see petition no choice say na Ghana you practicing the rule of law. And then Nanado na that time no obika opposition person ya obika ekede na go be the president no. Odi to mu say o say Supreme Court akasa de ya odi hweka. That is the rule of law, not the pleasure of a man.
We know Makai Media report about your opinion on a president decision to suspend the CJ. You have the opinion, say, Ewasanko Home Soma, Aseme Supreme Court, no Mukawi, Ansana, Watuaso with this process. Do you still stand by our opinion? And I say, based on commentary, Abani Adeno, what's the opposition?
Mrs. Sami position. Ever say media, me somra, me sumunipa. Now, yeah, oppose the constitution, then we don't have a democracy. I just said a Christian who I am Bible, and now Muslim near Omu Quran. And another someone as the exercise. And there, blessing at Nsem-Pii, or Mount Penning, Mahama, or Bishagana Isuda. And when I was Sueno, Nidikan, or Council, or we put the constitution now on me, I uphold the constitution, okay, Bible. On Yamia did not for who was here, baby. And now, constitution now than a buy. Constitution is say we have 50+1 who to be the president. Yeah, sure. Constitution chrono. Constitution is a creative Supreme Court, no. And a near man I hope Supreme Court, no. I challenge you procedure and any processes now. You have to see Chief Justice, no. And now, as a one filing injunction to prevent the process from going on. Now, the president and the Council of State said, oh, and the man of the Supreme Court, you say you be or he may say you are violating the Constitution. A contempt of the Supreme Court. Now, open say, oh, I some way, not a diaboko, a daho, I bet me, my minister. And then I'm a law, no, and you're Juma. Oh, open say, we appointed friends, Chief Justice so far. So the man never Juma. Chief Justice not so called Parliament, who nominated we are not by the Constitution, you have to know. So Bumra, oh Samuel, who say Obinia acting friends, Chief Justice. Now, 7. On the judge Yakoshe the same Supreme Court. I say no, I don't get me.
Yeah, but the argument is that yes, a conviction that if we are file the application of Supreme Court, but as we speak, there is no injunction at Supreme Court. Ama a grant say a bit me stay the hands of the President of the Council of State. Are you saying say by the mere filing of the application into the President and the Council of State should stay their hands? And
yes, Sana, I'm running here. A free Moffat case.
Yes.
And about Okra, me a penny baffle money. Supreme Court, as they say, all horses, on what deciding in Archer. Say, even Crano, ye determine motion. Now we hear BB undermining what the court will do as contempt. So it's not just an order, but where there is a pending application, the pending application is a yes. Now I say, no, man, yeah. One for Buama Supreme Court now, I say, determine a seminal, a contempt. And then say, where the Obika is so obvious to any lawyer, excuse me to say, and also a bit clear a contempt.
Yeah, but
those who young Simba, now or say court to know and stop or say anyway. Now so be here dear and a court on fast one thing. A human as a court and as I say.
Yeah, but
the no. Make I say and just say or you should the process is Chief Justice Fido, Mikasa.
Yes.
Yamaican said, of course, Emrana Chima, and they are on for a millennium. Aha! Yakasa, the president is law abiding. Now you cannot disrespect the law at one breath and use the same law to, appoint another Chief Justice. I don't see how you can do that.
Yeah, but or more I disagree with you, will say, sir. There have been several instances in our country, in fact, where cases are pending before the apex court, but political actors be a tokoso yet neoma application at court no a seek to injure. For example, people raise the e-levy matter, it be raising the electoral commission there, and all of that. Inti sa precedents never ho, and we did not hear anything from the court citing people for contempt any idea. Why should it be different now, Honorable?
I be a seminar and for die, and then me and for. Okay, I say, and not too long so no make one right. Obi yet, I did it to Chennai one tear. No be yan and now, because Obi yeah with tea, at the answer I eat, to make it right. When you are media, me support this argument, young for us on the back. Because ye knew what democrats in my Nazi, ye knew quite. Is it democracy piano? The more you know now, I didn't the attack democracy as in Nanuzuni. Aha, it made me feel what they are making out to say. Near President Mahama, ye be a person didn't want to power on family council. They call it due process. Now, the due process, no, it's not a reset when you change the government. The due process is there. The constitution is not constitution, I was saying, the amendment. Constitution, no, the peja. Nanu nyam say be biem President Mahama abe biem constitution no senya constitution akwonte be be ote no eye den na o sign book constitution nanu mutia ade na ma wanu nyam no me mente ase sisi
yes
sisi no be so ye bia no obi enka say obi infa petition so obe use wetia chief justice opeso you know
okay
constitution ma kwan so betumi use petition na ya hwehwem Name constitution no kwan and now so idea say adwuma no to fa mara kwan so obi ka say process awo yeti am no obi na odi akokot so yeti am am no enko wa file papers e the highest court of the land na president so
mali obi abet ma conclude and obi abet ma pass the comment e mo a edwin say based on the outcome, they will have to go to court, have the right to do so. But we think that it is premature for us to be drawing conclusions and passing comments on a process that is legally supposed to be carried out in camera.
Okay, it is a metawasi here. The Awuka and it's a process now, Asha so far, a court stricto sensu by the provisions of Article 146. Say obi ewo issue be with the process ne ho a onye kom na committee ni na adwuma nwie omo de verdict ba anse na nipa na kasa. Is that what you are saying?
That is what I'm saying, because it's an ongoing process. And this is a process that can be fought on grounds of procedural impropriety at the court.
Yes.
And this conclusion in back. Don't we say at this stage they didn't follow ABCD? You have the right to go to court, and the court will deal with it. Even the whole enterprise as to whether this should be the procedure or the other one, or there should be another procedure. That is to be determined by the court, not any of us.
Yes.
And time, the day will come.
And again, no. Say, if I find say. In implementing the procedure na asha no me who say issue bi wo ho asisia me ma me mfa court sisia.
That is why those people are already in court, but those on radio drawing conclusions for how they call it, passing comments are the issues, because I know there are two cases in court at the Supreme Court in respect of the same process.
Okay,
if they have done a thing like that, I don't think we'll have a consent.
And to be our issue, obey me the court, but my engaging in public commentary. That's what you're saying.
Exactly so.
Okay.
If you go to the court and the court thinks that at this stage you shouldn't come, they will tell you. If they think that they can entertain you at this stage, they will tell you. But the public commentary and the premature conclusion that we are reaching is the consent. And now it appears politics have been. Now the issue is no longer looking as if it's a legal or judicial issue, but rather political issue. And until at this time, we think that we have to come out and assure the public that rule of law will work, and we encourage and increase everybody involved at any stage of the process to go do that accordingly.
Okay, I think that the clarity helps. Initially, I think I got the way say process ne cost no the obia wasem wo ho kra men fa court men yahwe me
no. You can always go to the court.
Okay.
As for the court, they are open. When you go there, and they will determine whether the matter you are bringing before them is something that should come before them.
Okay.
Nobody can stop you on that. But the public commentary and the conclusions that we are drawing is the consent, because it's an ongoing process. And don't forget, the committee itself is supposed to work in camera. The petitions that people are commenting on, the content, I don't know where they got this from. Before, as far as I am concerned, there is no formal petition released to everybody.
Okay.
And I expect it to be released just at the end or at the end of the committee's work. That is when we can all get to know the true petition and the content.
Yes, but as lawyers, no, it is often said, we are officers of the court, and that some have argued, because we the first time I be say happen at least in the Fourth Republic, no, where a sitting CJ has been suspended, no. Ebiaka say an attack on the judiciary, and they expect voices like the voice of the Ghana Bar Association to rise up and talk. Sana Muhuno, as least as executives of the GBA.
I cannot come to that conclusion because so far the process has not been done in a vacuum. It is being done under the Constitution. Unless we are saying that there is no constitutional provision like that. That is why I am saying that the process no by we are, then we can forward it. But now the fact that it has never happened before does not make it unlawful or unconstitutional. Nobody can conclude at this point.
Yes.
And we don't have that power to do that except the court.
The process never we na afe who say na issues would we then not be speaking after the fact when the damage be or the damage has already been done?
No, because the position to be taken, the working of the committee is subject to the jurisdiction of the court.
Sure.
So the court can set aside the workings of the committee. The court has that power.
Sure.
And setting it aside means that the whatever they had done will be put aside, and the position before will come to place to replace that.
Okay. My I think you've dealt with questions ana yewo nyinara. My final question though would be say mo statement we enye a bit belated.
It is not, because if you read the first paragraph of the statement, we have been monitoring. So at this stage, we realize that the political argument is clouding everything.
Yes.
So we have to step in to say that, look, hold on, this is a judicial process that is being, or a constitutional process that is being carried out. So let us all restrain ourselves and be assured that we work under rule of law, and also entreat and encourage those involved to observe the rules that govern the game.
If any lawyer who is a member of the GBA flouts sa admonition are there any consequences?
Well, GBA per se cannot do that, but the person must just be mindful that or issues on this matter are also before the court.
Yes.
So if they are commenting on them, they should be careful. What I expect them to be doing is to be doing public education and not to be drawing conclusions.
Yeah. Very well. Very well. Lawyer, my nase, Bibi any a best about Bidin Komobio. Why?
Tell me that.
Yeah, that's it. Lawyer Xavier Kwaku Kuje, only a public relations officer for the Ghana Bar Association. And Kaniko Sis. Sisia, President said,